Welcome to Zoom In, Zoom Out, where we take an in-depth look at how news from Taiwan is impacting the world. I'm your host, Wang. It's LGBTQ Pride Month, and while Taiwan has been praised as the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage, stigma against people living with HIV/AIDS remains an issue. As recent as 2015, non-citizens who are HIV positive could be denied entry at the borders, or even deported. Fortunately, this law was abolished February of that year. In 2018, a man brought a case to Taiwan's Supreme Court where they sued his sexual partner for failing to disclose his HIV status before they were intimate. It was later ruled in favor of the defendant because of U equals U, meaning if it's undetectable, then it's untransmissible. At the same time, there were many artists in Taiwan trying to change that stigma. Today, we're joined by Kairon Liu, an activist and artist working with HIV Story, a Taiwanese NGO telling the stories of people living with HIV/AIDS. So, Kairon, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bing. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about the basics. What does it mean for someone to be living with HIV/AIDS in Taiwan?
In Taiwan, I have to say we are very lucky. Our national health care actually provide free medication for HIV positive individuals if you're a citizen. And for non-citizen, if you stay in Taiwan, I mean, if you have your residency in the country longer than 2 years, that means that you can also get the medication from our national health care. And I mean, for our government, their goal is to not to create new cases of the carrier. So I think this is a really good policy. But I mean, on the other hand, HIV specifically law can criminalize HIV positive individuals, and that is one of the issue that most of the non-government organizations here right now, I mean, the activists are working with.
Historically in Taiwan, has it always been this way? Do people run into obstacles?
So we are now at the fifth decade of HIV/AIDS, right? And for the past, we have people march on the street just because they can get their own medication. We have patient, I mean, those who already get the virus in their system that stand staying in the street and telling the community that everyone should get a test to protect yourself, to get the proper treatment and to protect your loved one. And I'm really proud and honored to say that we are now no longer in the phase. Right now, mostly we are fighting for people's right for work or the right for housing because your neighbor or family couldn't learn about your diagnosis and kick you out from your community or house. People's right to not getting being be treated as a monster, that people might see them as a criminal because they are HIV positive. So it has been changed since the 80s. Yeah.
So you work with a lot of people living with HIV/AIDS. How have you been trying to tell the community stories?
As you just mentioned, I am an activist and artist and curator that work with HIV/AIDS, and I mainly work with an NGO called HIV Story, and we present HIV positive individual story online. We have a website called HIV Story Media to show the diversity of our community to the general public. I mean, we have hundreds of stories about HIV positive individuals, and those stories are either written by the patient themselves or their family. And we also have researchers in the teams that they will just interview a bunch of the people and to on a larger scale of subjects such as like patient-doctor relationship, gender, or like how people being treated in their working environments in different kind of subjects. So people can see that HIV positive individuals are not just something that they could picture based on the stigma or the stereotype in their mind or their surrounding. So basically, this is our own way to publish this personal story. And we also have like educational public program like exhibition, talk fiction, conference, or party, or we also host series of event at during Pride. I mean, the Gay Pride in October to tell the community and the general people that AZ session now over. There are serious topic and issue that we have to solve, and they are actually suffering some unfair treatment from the medical provider or from their daily life, and this basic human right will need to be concerned, uh, and we are trying to earn that fairly.
In the past couple of years, doctors, researchers, and activists have been trying to promote this idea called "you equals you." Can you tell us more about that?
Um, so U Equal You became an international campaign for HIV/AIDS movement. The first U is actually stand for undetectable, and the second one means untransmissible. That means that if you already taking the medicine for a year or taking the medicine for no long time, and the medical device won't be can detect the viral load in your blood. That means that you are unable to transmit, I mean, infect the others, infect your sex partner with the virus. So basically, there is telling the patient that okay, if you keep taking the medicine, then you can have a normal life and you can maintain the function of your immune system, and also telling the people out of the community, and those people are negative with HIV, that you can actually engage with the virus carrier safely. You are fine. You can be their sex partner. You can be their family. You can be their friends. You can work around them, and you provide the kind of medical evidence for the general people.
So people living with HIV/AIDS have to take medicine every day.
Yeah, they have to take it every day, but it take half year or a year to reach undetectable. Yeah.
So, Kairon, I want to zoom out a little bit and look at the stigma within an LGBTQ community. Um, you've been working with organizations like HIV Story. So, what have you been doing with that organization?
I think we do the activism in three directions. For the first one, we focus on the empowerment for our community. We do peer supporting group. We do workshop. We have professional mentor in our team that guiding our individuals. I mean, the people in the community or their family to transform their story into our work. They can actually translate their life story or their pain or their any kind of emotion after their diagnosis into the artwork. For instance, 2019, we have an exhibition called Interminable Prescription of the Plague at Mocha Taipei. And every year, we actually at least 10 HIV/AIDS organization in Taiwan and then create the airlines at Pride, to showing the people the diversity of the community, just, as a reflex that this is issue, just like you say, is still happening in our community. So we are not invisible, even that we can get the treatment. There are a lot of social issues that people in and outside the community should care, especially HIV/AIDS is not a disease that only LGBTQ community can get it, right? I mean, we have a lot of member and friends that they are actually not belonging to the community, and this is a topic that, I mean, aggressively and heavily connect to our community, but this is not just our topic. Everyone should have the awareness about that. And beside that, we are also keep trying to looking for a new way to tell our story. For instance, for this July, you can see we have a really cool project called Bareback Knife, which is a project that we collaborate with the standout comedy community in Taiwan, and trying to tell people their their stories about bareback sex experience and how people have to protect themselves during their sex behavior and when they are engaged with sex.
Mm-hmm. So, there was a performance last year, Sheeman at Red House Theater. Can you talk more about that?
Oh yeah, so we collect HIV positive individual stories since 2016. So right now we have hundreds of them. At this 300 article on our website right now, and last year we were trying to find a new way. I mean, since the viewer are more and more picky, right? And we're trying to reach as much as many new audience as we can. So we decided to transform this story, this test script, into a play script that people can actually engage with this story in the other way. So people can actually see the professional actor and actress that they behave as HIV individuals and to show their daily life to the viewer, I mean to the audience, and to say, oh, this is actually a living being. But by doing that, we present their story in the real life, but not expose their identity to the viewer.
Yeah, that's really cool. Along with that question, you've also been working internationally. Where do you see areas where the movements abroad can collaborate with the one in Taiwan?
In the past, I collaborate and visit a lot of HIV/AIDS or LGBTQ friendly organizations or force in America. There's an organization called Visual AIDS. They actually have been doing the work about HIV/AIDS and using art as a social movement way to aw- to raise the awareness about HIV/AIDS since the 80s. I mean, nowadays when people see the red ribbon, they will know that it means HIV friendly, right? And that symbol is actually created by Visual AIDS, and they are still doing the work. And I mean, we can see that even a country that's been one of the first country that support LGBTQ marriage, equal marriage, and they still have a lot of argument about such abortion or gender friendly, or even you can see a lot of cases about transgender people being attacked in the country. I think I'm trying to say that you won't be able to find a country that being so supportive, but also present the issue so honestly to the public. For that, I think is a really good reference for us to think about how to continue the fight, how to continue and maintain the conversation, how to use our own work as a bridge to hold the awareness, to hold the fight.
Where do you think the movement is going in the future, and how can the public better support this movement?
In my own imagination, I hope to see the one day that our profession can find a cure. And I mean, that would be the perfect day for everyone. But there will always be the new virus in our human life, in our human society. There will always be stigma. There's always a metaphor of illness in our society. But how to see through this stigma, how to see through this discrimination, and to fight to make your own survival and to respect yourself and each other together during the pandemic, I think is something that we should all think about. And I have no doubt our medical profession, our medical technology will keep going to find a cure for everyone have the access. But before that, I think it's really crucial for everyone to be open to see the future and to hear people's voices.
Well, I hope everything works out. That was a wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed your insights. I learned so much about people living with HIV/AIDS today. So thank you very much, Kairon.
Thank you, King.
So this has been Zoom In, Zoom Out. You can find more stories on TaiwanPlus on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.